Janke, we do these kinds of stories year in and year out. Is there any indication that the schools this year, especially in Gauteng, are in a better position to deal with these issues around administration?
Well, I have to be honest, Michelle, this remains a big problem in the province. We heard from the MEC yesterday indicating that because of late applications, there were still about 16,000 learners who have not yet been placed, or they have provisionally been placed, but they still needed to submit documents to finalize these placements. On top of that, walk-ins still seem to be a problem. We still have parents not applying online and rather wanting to go to the district offices to ask if the schools have a place for these learners. Now, what they're saying is the fact that if people do want to do the walk-in and not the online process, they do have to go to the district offices and not the school specifically. Now, I have to be honest, I haven't seen any parents queuing at the schools I visited this morning. I did, however, see some parents at a different school in Orlando yesterday. But I do understand that this school, at Twatwa High School, still does have space for grade 8s, which is one of the big challenges or problems in the province. So we do expect that later the school might get more grade 8s, even though it wasn't the parents' first choice of school. This school does still have space. But I'm just quickly going to speak to the principal, Mr. Fetu, who I do have here with me, of the school. Principal, you kicked off this morning with the assembly, with the children shouting that they are the future. Are you ready for this 2019 academic year?
Yes, we are ready for the 2019 academic year, as we've always been ready for all these years. And we're excited because our results have just boomed from 63% to 89.5%, which is about 25% increase.
Now, you did mention earlier that you have about 1,000 learners and 30 teachers. How are you managing all those numbers? Because 1,000 is quite a lot. Do you have enough teachers, and are they managing at this stage?
Truly speaking, the teachers are not enough, but we know that we are not a school in isolation. This problem is countrywide. We're struggling with teacher allocation because of the economic constraints that the nation has, and even internationally. But under those circumstances, we're trying the best we can, as you can see with the results.
Yes, the 89%, it was up from 25% from 65%. From last year, so quite an improvement. But when you come to placements in the school, you did mention that there is still space for grade 8s at this school. Have you seen any parents approaching the school directly? Has that been a problem, specifically when it comes to the online application system?
Yes, application online is a really good system. We have a capacity of 250 learners in grade 8. We are going towards 200. But parents came in the first 2 days when the teachers were here. But we also have told them that once school starts, we'll prefer them to come at 2:30 after school. We're expecting quite a big number of parents from especially Eastern Cape, Limpopo, and KwaZulu-Natal. But we will always have this problem of late submissions, not only as a single school, all other schools, and even the district. They've got so many parents looking for their learners.
But just to be clear, if parents want to still bring their grade 8s to the school, they first need to go to the district office instead of approaching the school directly?
Not necessarily. When we have space like we have for isiXhosa and isiZulu learners, we definitely do help them here, register here at the school. Unless there are some complications, then we always send them back to the district.
Okay, but just finally, you are looking forward to the 2019 academic year to maybe even improve the matric results you had last year?
We're definitely looking forward to that. Our biggest aim we've already achieved, to surpass the district average pass and surpass the province average pass and also surpass the national average pass, and we've done that. Now we're going to our next target to break the 90% barrier. We are actually aiming for 100%.
Thank you very much. And we're quickly just, Michelle, also going to speak to the MEC for Economic Development, Lebogang Mahile, who did visit this specific school this morning, one of a number of deployments this morning. MEC, why was it so important for the province to be at these different schools this morning?
Well, education is at the apex of our priority. Since coming into office, we have always prioritized education. If you look at the State of the Province address, since 2014, we have been saying we want to be number one as Gauteng. We are already investing significant resources towards education and health. I mean, our 130 billion rand budget, about 80 billion plus goes to both health and education, which demonstrate the seriousness with which we treat our education.
But still the province, I know it's not necessarily your portfolio education, but you did come out to the school today. Still, as the first day starts, there's still thousands not in schools, and it's still a number of problems being faced by Gauteng.
I think my colleague spoke about that yesterday, and one of the reasons why you always, and this is a problem we always have every year, is because of in-migration. Every year in Gauteng we receive 80,000 new learners, and as a result our schools are not coping, and that is why from time to time we have to put mobile classrooms, we had to procure additional desks, additional chairs, additional learning material. And you even have a situation where in certain instances learners from other provinces coming to Gauteng to get learning material and going back to those provinces. So our education system is heavily burdened, and that is also, and I think it's partly because we are victims of our own success. We are doing well, we have seen with matric results, and it does not start here. And in fact, when you look at the matric results in context, Gauteng and KZN have got the largest number of learners. So leave the percentages out, then you will realize that we are doing very well. And this is something we've been doing for a number of years. I mean, we started with our secondary school intervention program 15 years ago, and it's bearing fruits now. We're getting more and more bachelor passes. We are now focusing on the quality of education, on maths, on science, and all that.
And then just the last question, where do you think education, because you speak about knowledge, or you spoke about knowledge to the learners earlier today, where do you think that fits into your portfolio of economic development if we look at the long-term importance of education?
We need to innovate. If our economy can innovate, can come with new ideas, we will not be able to compete with the best in the world. We need skills, and those skills must be compatible with the growing trends in the economy. So you can't separate education from the economic development trajectory of the province or of the country, and that is why we are working very closely. And you would have heard that national department is already introducing entrepreneurship as part of the curriculum. That will go a long way in helping us to systematically facilitate the integration of the overwhelming majority of our people into the mainstream economy.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, there you have it, Michelle. Quite a lot happening today, not only for the learners who actually did put on their uniforms and came to school today, but obviously the department that still faces that large number of pupils that still need to be placed. But luckily, as you heard earlier, there are still schools with spaces specifically for grade 8s. So hopefully before the end of this month, these learners would have been placed. I have to say that the department did mention that they want to do this before the end of this month. That does leave a week or two left where the children will then miss school. According to the department, they will not be disadvantaged, but obviously it can never be good if you miss a couple of days, even specifically if you start at a new school.
Janke Tolmay reporting live for us there from a school in Gauteng, Tetwa High School in Benoni.